What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Hangout Spot, where you already know it's real talk, boxing talk, live from my man cave. It's your boy Johnny, and I am your host, and we are here live and direct again Tuesday nights. You know how we rock out twice a week. Last week we actually did 3 shows. So for all of you that were rocking out with me last week, I just want to say a huge shout out. We had some big guests last week. We had super featherweight undefeated Albert Prince Bell. We had Claudia Trejos, the great Claudia, who is this week in Saudi Arabia. She's covering the Riyadh season, the rematch of Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk Part 2. And we also had light heavyweight contender Anthony Sims Jr. on Thursday, man. So if you weren't able to check out my lives last week, make sure you check out the recordings. They are on the Hangout Spot right now. And I'm telling you, man, you don't want to miss any one of my episodes. And tonight we got another banger. We got another banger, another great guest that I'm going to introduce in a few minutes. But you know the deal. You come to the Hangout Spot, there's ground rules, man. If you are watching this live, make sure you smash that like button, as it will help with the visibility of the channel. The goal is to get this out there to a lot of other boxing fans so that they know that we are rocking out every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 p.m. And sometimes we'll even rock out on a Wednesday, depending on how many guests I got for the week. And make sure if you have not subscribed to the Hangout Spot, you subscribe. Last but not least, the chat is open. You are free to comment, ask questions. You're definitely going to want to ask some questions on this guest that I have right now. He is one of my favorite, not just trainers in boxing, but one of my favorite people, man, because he's always showing me love. He is best known for being the head trainer for super middleweight contender, the chosen one, Edgar Berlanga. But let me tell you something. He has an amazing stable of young fighters. I mean, he trains Erickson the Hammer Lubin, who is a junior middleweight contender, Najee Lopez, undefeated light heavyweight prospect, Dominic Valle, super featherweight prospect, undefeated as well, Darrell Blast Saint, who is a middleweight prospect, again undefeated, Jonathan Cardozo, who actually won this past week on ProBox. So without further ado, I want to bring in my man, Head Trainer Marc Farrait. Man, what's going on, brother? Welcome to the Hangout.
What's going on, Johnny, man? Thank you for having me, man. It's always a blessing. You're a good man, and you do a lot for boxing, and I think people should know that. Bringing the awareness, and you're always at the events and the fights, and you at the most important events, right? The ones where the guys start at, you know, and how they come up, you know, not the ones where they already have made it, you know. But it's a beautiful thing, man, and it's really a pleasure to have me on. Thank you.
No, listen, man. You know, I've been trying to get this interview going for a while because you were always one of my favorite trainers before I met you. And then after I met you and I had a chance to chop it up, man, I noticed that you are not just a great trainer, but you're a great person, man.
Thank you.
Know, you're real. You keep it real. You always show me love. You always make your fighters accessible to me. So I just want to thank you for being you, Mark. You know what I'm saying?
Man, thank you. I appreciate that. Believe me, I do appreciate that. I'm grateful for where I'm at. I'm grateful for the opportunities that God has given me. And success is hard to come by, but you know, if you have a process and you have good people around you, you know, you can achieve all things, you know. And for me, it's I achieve all things through Christ Jesus who strengthens me. So he's my rock, he's my foundation. So, you know, thank you, man. Just thank you for having me. I appreciate it, you know.
This is how we do it up, man. We're going to get a nice interview going on. But first and foremost, I just want to tell you that the reason why I really got attached to your style of coaching is because you're no nonsense. You're all about accountability, and I'm big with that. And I remember seeing you on TV and saying to myself, I think I told my wife this, can Marc Farrait coach football too? Because I'm a Jet fan, and we are starving for a
don't say that, coach. Man. We're Jet fans, man. We've been suffering.
You a Jet fan too?
I'm the only Jet fan in my family. Like, everybody's Giants fans.
Bro,
you know, like I'm from New York. You from New York. I love the Knicks, the Rangers, the Yankees. So when I said I was a Jet fan, people are like, oh, so you must like the Mets and the Islanders and
correct,
and the New Jersey Nets when they were New Jersey. But I've always been a Jet fan for one reason, right? And you just mentioned it. And this is the reason why I became a Jet fan. I was always a Giant fan. Was because of Bill Parcells when he transferred over and became a Jet coach.
Okay.
I said now he's going to bring that toughness that he brought to the Giants with Phil Simms, LT, all those guys. He was going to bring that over, and he did for a little bit, But I'm a big Jet fan because of Bill Parcells.
So now it all makes sense to me because your style is very, very similar to those old school coaches that hold their damn players accountable.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's why I told my wife, I was like, man, if he could coach football, we need a coach like that on the Jets, man.
I like to get Dion, right? We get Dion and Shador.
Let's see what happens, man. You never know. Let's see what happens. I mean, the offseason is going to be interesting. But another reason why, I fell in love with you as a coach is I was watching that episode before Edgar fought Canelo. There was a series that he put out on YouTube, Life's a Gamble. And I believe it might have been the first episode. I think it was a couple episodes. But there was a scene in there where you were training Edgar and you were telling him something about that he needed to work hard, and he said something about he's magic, and you just went off on him, man. You went off, and you were like, I don't believe in magic. I believe in hard work. You know what I'm saying? And after that, I was like, oh man, that's what I'm talking about, man. That is the perfect style of coaching that I like. You know what I'm saying? You're all about accountability. You told him if we don't get it done, then we'll be here all night. It kind of reminded me of the Denzel character and Remember the Titans.
Oh yeah.
What? Yeah. Yo, but you were kind of like you were heated at that moment, man. That wasn't just for the camera.
No, in fact, I had got rid of the cameras right after that because I had to be myself. And sometimes when you're in front of the camera, it's you try to hold back. You're so worried about how people are going to look at you and judge you and stuff like that. But at that point, like after that, he said something, and Edgar's like my son. We have a great chemistry together. And me ripping on him is not that he doesn't do it. He does it. Like that kid's a workhorse. That kid is a special kid. That kid has a special talent, and he has a special drive, and that camp we were going through a lot, but I'm not going to talk about that because we're not here to justify, what was the outcome. But I'm proud of Edgar. I think he did a wonderful job. I think he for a kid that never had a title shot, for a kid that people counted out, for a kid, he put on a great show. Canelo didn't come out and just went through the 12 rounds. He was trying to kill Edgar. Mm-hmm. He fought Edgar. He came out and listen, man, I have nothing to say about what could have happened, what didn't happen. Canelo is a legend. It was a great learning lesson for Edgar as it was for me. Believe it or not, I'm always learning. I'm always studying. I'm always looking to how can I better myself? How can I become a better teacher? Not a trainer or a coach, right? Like we have too much of those guys that got whistles and guys that, that learn on TV or they heard something. But a teacher is, you have to put your time in there. And I like to cultivate fighters. A lot of people don't. And I cultivate them by giving them the raw deal. Like I just tell them, hey man, this is what it is. At the end of the day, it's boxing. And if you don't put in the work, like Johnny, a lot of people look at Floyd and all these young kids and how they come out and dressing and, they look at Canelo, they look at all these guys, man. Like you're looking at what they have. You should be looking at the process. You should be looking at what's their system. You should be glorifying that. Like not that the jury and the money. Find a system. And for me, I'm very, very militant, right? Because you have to be, and not with every fighter, right? Some fighters you move differently. Like I don't train all my fighters the same, and I don't speak to all my fighters the same. They all have different, and I got a young stable, and people will hear about them this year. Like they'll all be fighting eliminators and coming up heavy. Mm-hmm. But with Edgar, I don't pull no punches, right? I never pulled punches with him. I've never.
And he appreciates. I think he accepts it.
Yeah, like I'm not a fan of Edgar. Like I can't be his fan while I'm training him. I could be a fan after the fight and say, hey man, dude, that was amazing, man. You did great. You did this, and I'll take out the pom poms if that fight called for it, But during training camp, nah, I don't believe in magic. I don't. Magic is not what makes us who we are. Magic didn't get us here, man. And we all have our stories. It was those people that are successful is because of the hard work they put in. It's because of the sleepless nights. It's because, so magic ain't do that. Magic happens when you put the hard work in.
Correct. Absolutely correct. And I just want to repeat that what you said. I mean, it's all about hard work, right? And I think that he takes to your coaching style, which makes you guys a good fit. So I was happy that you guys reunited. I think you were the right person, especially going into this fight. Because one thing I did not question, there was a lot of people that were shitting on this fight, Mark. Let's be honest.
Yeah, no, but rightly so, right? Like they all have their opinion, man. I can't, but they had that opinion, Johnny.
Yeah, of course. But one thing I knew was Edgar's going to be prepared. He's going to be focused, and he's going to go in there and he's going to give it his best, right? Because a lot of people, again, casual fans, right? Is he going in there just because he wants to bag? No, I knew he was coming to win. And at the end of the day, I mean, you prepared him the right way. You guys went away. You went to Colorado. I mean, he was focused. He looked good physically, mentally. And you're right. I thought he put a very good performance on against arguably the face of boxing.
He had fun. And he had fun in there.
And he had fun. And
he had fun.
He had fun, and he learned a lot. He showed people that I can fight on this level.
Right.
Because there were a lot of people that were questioning that. And obviously that's a testament to the work that you put in with him. So, kudos to you on that, because you guys go way back, right? You started trading him he was 17, right?
17 years old.
17. So he had already had pro fights?
No.
Okay, so you got him right before.
I got him when he lost in Olympic trials.
Okay, got it. All right. So you got him at the Olympics, and then you were with him when he turned pro.
I was with him all the way to his 12th fight.
And so throughout that run, obviously Edgar had 16 first round knockouts, right?
Yeah, 12 with me, and then
12 with you. Okay, 12 with you, right?
Separated for 4 years.
Okay, got it. Well, let's stop right there. Can you tell me what happened? Why did you guys decide to go your separate ways?
No, it wasn't nothing between him and I.
Okay.
It was it had to do with boxing politics, It was nothing with me. In fact, when Edgar came, we're both from New York. I'm born and raised in the Bronx. He's from Brooklyn.
Yeah, I'm from the same place as him, Bushwick.
Yeah, so he trained in my gym in the Bronx in Jerome Avenue. And then when I finally decided to move to Florida to build a facility, I brought him with me. He lived with me. He came down here. My wife and kids were still back in New York. They were getting ready to move. Edgar came and moved with me and stayed out in Florida with me. So he's been with me everywhere. I used to take him to work 4 o'clock in the morning when I get to work, and he would run, and I would pick him up. As I'm driving to work, he's running. I'm watching him. So we separated. Had nothing to do with him or I. And it's just how life happens, right? Life takes us different directions, right? And obviously it brought him back. For whatever reason he wanted to come back, I'm not here to pat myself on the back, So obviously he came back and we got back to our old ways, but that's water under the bridge with him and whoever, But we were separated and to the point where, he wanted to come back, and if he didn't come back, he was going through a lot, because you got to have a chemistry with the guy you train with, but you don't want to be best friends with the guy you train with, right? Like, if you're best friends, then he can't do his job, I can't do my job.
Where's the accountability, right?
Right. So he's like my son, like I do with my other 2 sons, right? I'm rough with them, I'm militant, but I do love them. If I'm their best friend, then they'll just skate around me. But yeah, we got back instantly, and he knew. I tell you this, Johnny, right? I'm going to be known for Edgar Berlanga's trainer, and that's a great thing for me, right? Like my thumbprint is on him, like I created him,
For sure.
but he did all the work. What people see on Instagram is not what I see at home when he's at my house.
Mm-hmm.
You see the difference with him.
I've been around him. Shout out to Edgar. He's my guy. I mean,
when he's home and he's around, he's a baby. You know, he's lovable. He's always joking.
Yep.
He doesn't have, but the kid likes jewelry. The kid likes flash. The kid, and he's good at it. You know, it's not what I do. You know, but, when he comes into my house, he don't come with all those chains. You know, he lays on the couch. He's in his chancletas. He's with a t-shirt. You know, it's like we go to Walmart. You know, he don't want to hear that, but we stop at Walmart.
He's real. Yeah, no.
He's a great kid, man. He's
absolutely
a great father. Great son. And what people I want people to know this. He takes care of a lot of people, man. And he doesn't put it out there. Like he doesn't. You can see him flamboyant, talking when he talks. But that kid takes care of a lot of people, man. And rightly so, he should be. If the Lord blesses him and puts him in that position, is to take care of his loved ones and those that are in need, and he does that. So I'm proud to say that I trained Edgar Berlanga.
No, that's what's up, man. And you're right. I've been around him for countless hours. I've been around a little Chosen.
Yeah,
I haven't seen your relationship with Chosen. I mean, it's like your grandson.
Yeah.
And it's a special thing. It's a bond. It's almost like a father and son, and for some reason, Coach, I gravitate towards those type of relationships. And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I wish I had a son, because if I did, I'd be his trainer. So, but no, it's special. And you're right. Edgar's not that dude that people paint him out to be in the media, man. He's a good guy. He's a hard worker. He shows me love. So, nothing but respect for him. And I'm glad, like I said earlier, I'm glad that you guys decided to get back together. I think you're the perfect match, and the future is bright.
Yeah,
it's bright, man. He's still a baby, 28 years old, right?
Yeah, he's 27.
27. So he's not even 28 years old. He's coming off the biggest fight of his career, and there's a lot of people that are mentioning his name, man, which is a good thing, right?
You know what? I love that they do that. Like we talk every day. It's funny how people say he's this, he's that, he can't do this, he can't do that, but everybody wants to fight him. You know why? Because he's the bag. Like, why would you want to fight a bum that's not making no money? Obviously, if Caleb wants to fight him and this guy wants to fight him, it's because they know that he's going to bring the audience, he's going to bring a show, because nobody wants to fight nobody that's not bringing nothing to the table, man.
For sure.
So when people say what they say about him, I just tell them, Edgar, I laugh at it. I was like, then why all these guys want to fight you, man? Well, why everybody wants to fight you? They want to fight you because you're the next guy. Now, you're going to have people that don't say that, right, and they have their opinion. That's what makes you a great pay-per-view guy. Edgar can hold his own pay-per-view because you got 50% of people that hate him and they want to see him lose, and you got the other 50 that love him and support him. So guess what? You got 100% of those buys, and for a kid that never had a title, man, he's done well, man. He's done really well, and it's an honor to have guys like Caleb Plant saying, and like, I want to fight Edgar Berlanga. That was never said before.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, we got to fight. Now they're going back and forth. Munguia, let me fight this. But it's an honor. Before no one was talking about him. It was like, he's hype, he's this, he's that. Now everybody wants to fight him.
Yeah.
So
that's a good problem to have.
It's a great problem to have, right? Because the fights are lining up, right? And they're going to sell, and he's only going to get better. Edgar's only going to get better. You just can't come off the Canelo fight and not get better.
For sure.
It's so much, and people, for the first time in all his fights, people that know boxing actually seen a different fighter. They seen a mature fighter. He wasn't that much. How can I put it? Canelo's a legend. Let's just stop there. But he wasn't like.
He wasn't shell shocked.
Yeah, he wasn't.
The moment wasn't too big for him.
The lights weren't too bright for him.
Right, and that's a worry that most people had, and it's valid worry, right? He
Yes,
he never fought on that stage. But one thing I will tell you, another thing that you pointed out earlier that I just want to touch on real quick. Number one, he faced adversity, getting dropped, and got right back up and started fighting. And number two, he did not face the Canelo that had mercy on Munguia. I know in my heart that Canelo
or Charlo.
Or Charlo, right? Or Charlo. I mean, he took it easy on both those guys. He let his foot off the gas pedal. He did against Edgar, man. I was watching that fight. He wanted to take Edgar's head out.
Dude, every round.
And you said it in the press conference. You said it. This dude was not going to show you no mercy.
Yeah, because he said it. He came out, he goes, and you, I'm not going to show you no mercy. He goes, you're not going to get no mercy from me. So listen, man, I don't care what people say and this and that. I have to turn around and say, Canelo's a legend for a reason, man. You know, he has something that's very special, and this is what's special. I don't know his net worth, right? But let's say that guy's close to 500, 600 million.
Mm-hmm.
And still, what makes those guys special that all the young fighters should look at. And I just had a conversation with all three of my young fighters today. I says, you guys are broke, no money. And you're not in here living in this gym. And you got a guy like Canelo Alvarez, who's worth hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars and still trains and fights with the spirit as if he has nothing.
Yeah.
He comes to fight like he has nothing. He doesn't take a back seat. He doesn't train, here and there. That guy's disciplined. That guy's hungry. That should be a lesson to the young guys. Not what he has is how can a guy have so much money and still out-train you, outwork you? It's because of the discipline, the desire, the dedication. And these young guys should look at that. Don't look at his skill set. Look at his process, man. So, yeah, man, it was a learning experience. It was a great learning experience. And Edgar's learned a lot. And we'll see that coming up in his next fight and moving forward.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm here with the great coach, Marc Farrait. Shout out to OW Wizard 01 from the Boxing Voice community. Thank you for tuning in. We also got Manuel LG, who's one of my peoples from the Boxing Voice. Coach, he actually took one of my questions that I was going to ask you. What are your thoughts on the Munguia upset? And the reason why I'm asking is because he might have messed up the bag. At least that's what Edgar said.
Yeah, Edgar's did his thing, man.
What'd you think about that one, man? I mean, this is boxing.
Listen,
wow.
It just, like I said, did it shock me? Did it shock the world? 100%, right? But if you look at his last fight with previous to that one, he was getting touched a little bit until he stopped him. What's the guy's name? The guy from Canada. He just fought previous to this kid.
Yeah, Bazian. Eric
Bazian was undefeated, still had like an amateur style. Bazian was hitting him with a lot of right hands, pretty good, and this and that. But this is what I was telling just another coach yesterday. I said, hey, man, like punches add up in boxing. Punches add up, right? They don't add up under the lights only, but they add up in sparring. Sparring is where you take most of your punishment, right? Because you got a headgear, you're lazy those days, you take those shots. So I say all this, I say all that to say this. Dude, straw that broke the camel's back. It's just that one shot. That shot could have came against my good friend Devinchenko.
Derevchenko, yeah, that was a what fight of the year candidate, right?
Tough
What
fight.
was it? Fight of the year? Might have been fight of the year.
He had Munguia hurt. He had so those shots add up. And listen, man, I don't think he underestimated him. I think it's more of a
he was cooking, coach.
Yeah, I don't think he was.
Honestly, I wasn't even really paying attention because there was another fight on. So I was looking at the Rocha Curiel fight, thinking,
No, I was watching the Munguia fight. Obviously, I have a vesting interest.
Of course.
But what I was watching was Munguia resets a lot. He throws a lot of his punches, then he resets. He just looks. That guy was in position defensively, in a good position defensively. You watch him, he took those shots defensively, but he was still in an athletic position where he could respond offensively. That right hand wasn't a cheap right hand. That was a solid right hand.
Flush.
It wasn't an over right hand. It wasn't an eyes closed or an exchange.
Nope.
If you watch the kid's eyes, it was more an angle, and then Munguia relaxed and he just went boom. It was a good placement shot. So it happens in boxing, right? Does that mean Munguia's a bum? Hell no. The guy's a great fighter, man.
Yeah, but you know how it is. You know how it is today.
If they have a rematch, I'll definitely pick Munguia in that fight, right? But does it mess up the bag? I don't know, man. Like, we didn't know what the bag was, right? We got to concentrate on our fight coming up. Like, I don't think about that stuff. I just watch those fights, right? Because I'm always
future opponent.
And I'm always studying, right? You always see it's not only watching Munguia, right? It's watching how this young kid is fighting Munguia. What is he doing so good? So it's watching both guys. It's just understanding. You never know what the next fight is going to be or what's the offering. And so, but listen, man, congratulations to the young kid. That was his super.
Brunello Suras.
Yeah, Brunello, and a young kid, right? 4 knockouts, 5 now, right?
5 knockouts in 26.
Listen, I tell everybody, 8-ounce gloves, everybody can punch. 10-ounce gloves, everybody can punch. It just doesn't take much, right? Placement, time, opportunity, right position, right? Paying attention to detail. But congratulations, man. It was a good fight and doesn't take away anything from Munguia. Munguia is a great young fighter,
Well said. No, well said. And I believe that he exercised his rematch clause, so they're going to do it again. But honestly, Coach, I wanted to see Munguia skate because you know who I want him in the ring with, my guy, Edgar.
Yeah.
I think that's a mega fight. And I still think it will happen. I wanted to see it early.
Yeah,
maybe in May of 2025. I don't think it happens if he's going to exercise that rematch.
If Munguia does what I think he can do against this guy, and just put it as being careless, not being lazy, right? And I won't even say being careless. It's a habit he has, right? His chin is always up. He gets hit a lot. Doesn't have a good defense. So people like that are just all offense, but they're not worrying about what's coming back, right? And he wasn't never worried about, right? You got to have a before, like let me do something before, then throw my shots. It's like a sandwich, right? I'd rather have defense, offense, and defense. The offense should be in the middle, right? So
that's a good point. Never heard that.
You got to have some form of defense, right? And your defense is your lead hand, right? Your legs, and if you can be in an athletic position. But listen, man, Munguia has a great team. He has a Hall of Fame in his corner. They've done a great job over there, with him. And I think he'll be back. And I think that I think he'll beat that guy. And then if we do what we have to do, then hopefully, we'll see what happens.
For sure. So when so the plan is, the last time I spoke to Edgar, he said the plan is March. He wants to get back into the ring March, hopefully in Puerto Rico. Is that still the plan?
Yeah, March it is. We're still,
Have we finalized at least a top 2 list of opponents? I know you're not going to tell me who. So
we're just waiting, right? Because Matchroom has, they're gonna do their offerings on who they want us to fight.
But it's definitely going to go down in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, it'll be in Puerto Rico.
Right. I'm going to try to swing up for that one.
In March, it'll be in Puerto Rico. And
try to get a credential and sneak up for that one and support my guys.
I got you if you get there. I'll give you a credential. I'll get you backstage with us. But yeah, it's going down in March. And let's see, right? You're only as good as your last match, right? So, so I think there's more pressure now because of what happened with Canelo and everything else up to this very point that I'm doing an interview, right? So they're going to want to see if he's the real deal, right?
For
so
sure.
it doesn't matter doesn't matter. Listen, man, he got some big fights coming up. So he'll be ready for all those big fights, and he'll give the fans a great show.
Yeah.
So he'll be ready.
No doubt. And I'm interested to see him back in the ring because, like you said, there's a ton of stuff that he should have taken from that fight. So you're gonna see an even better Edgar. Especially, and one of the things that I when I spoke to him, I kind of noticed is that he liked being on that stage. Like he couldn't wait to get back.
He embraced
So once you taste that, coach, it's like, yo, I don't want to eat that no more. I want to eat that steak.
But then it opens up the Pandora box in you as a fighter, right? Similar to how Canelo did it with Floyd, like that Pandora box opens up, and a lot of your confidence, a lot of things that your insecurities that you've had. All fighters have insecurities when they go back to the hotel or they're in camp and they're in their room. Their mind starts running. Now he'll have less, right? Because he was on that stage. He knew he performed on that stage. And he knows now, 2020 hindsight, as we all do, right? It's like Monday quarterbacking after Sunday's game. I could have done this. He'll know that I could have done better in that fight. I could have done this. I could have done that. But that experience brings him, Johnny, to another level. March 8th, you'll see it. Then after that, you'll see it. So there's no bigger likes than that,
Mm-hmm.
And the kid's a performer, like, believe me, he was a performer. Like they had to, it wasn't just all Canelo. Like he brought his show and people loved it.
It takes two to tango, absolutely. Especially when it comes to prize fighting. So you said the 8th, is that date locked in?
I never said the 8th. You said March. You saying the 8th.
Okay. I could have sworn you said March 8th. Okay.
I never said March 8th. I never said nothing.
Okay.
Play it back. When you next play it back, I said in March. But hey, it could be March 8th.
Could be.
That's breaking news. Johnny just broke it.
Nah, we ain't break it, man. I'm here with Marc Farrait, my brother.
People say March 1st. But
yeah, because I was hearing rumors about March 8th. That's why.
Yeah, it could be March 8th. It'll be early in March, and it'll be at Choliseo.
Nice. That's gonna be dope. That's gonna be dope in front of the Puerto Rican people. Coach Mark, what's your favorite punch or combo to have Edgar use in a fight? That's by my boy Wizard 01. What do you got?
I would say that what I ask of all my fighters is that they use their intelligence is 1, they use their feet is 2, and they use their lead hand. So my favorite punch is their lead hand, right? Whatever you want to do, a jab, check, smack jab. This is everything. This is what wins you a fight. You collect your money with your right hand. So your favorite punch, it should be off your lead hand, but it could be anything else. You know what I mean? It could be, what do you do after? The uppercut, hook. Canelo likes to throw the slap hook, move the guard over, shoot the uppercut, and go to the body. But he does something that does that, that creates that. So for me, I think everyone should have a great lead hand that can create different combinations. So I would say off your lead, your lead hand, a good jab, check hooks, use your feet.
Yep.
But it could be anything, Johnny, but your lead hand.
For sure. I got another question. This is from Liz Rosado, who happens to be my wife, actually.
Okay.
And she knows I'm a big fan of yours, so she's watching, she's supporting. I'm trying to get her more into boxing. So,
no, but by the question, like she knows what she's talking about.
That's what I'm saying, right? She played it all pretty good. Tank's been getting a lot of heat for his opponent selections. Who would you love to see Tank face off with?
I wish Inoue was a little bit heavier.
Wow. Yeah.
I wish Inoue was a little bit heavier. I think Tank is a special talent, a generational talent. We always expect these fighters to be, like Bill Gates outside, like they work for Microsoft companies, but they don't. These guys are geniuses in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And he's one of them. He has a special talent. Who would I like to see him face? Inoue. If Inoue was up there, right?
That would be dope.
Would have been a phenomenal fight. And by the likes of it, Tank has a lot of admiration and respect for his skill set. And even he mentioned that would be a great fight, if Inoue was a little bit heavier. But everybody says Shakur, right? Everybody says Teofimo, right? But I don't think that those things are going to happen right now. But I think the dream fight for me will be Inoue.
I like it. And she also said I pay attention. So, Heavy Andy, do you still train fighters in Brooklyn Gym or Bushwick Boxing Gym? Do you still train people over there?
No. I actually don't live in New York no more. I built a facility out here in Florida. So I haven't been back there. I haven't trained anyone back there. The last fight I trained in New York was Edgar.
Well, somebody agreed with you. That's a mega fight. But again, the coach's point, I think he's a bit too small. That'll be a tough task to move up. What, 3 weight classes? Would that be 3 weight classes?
Hey, Pacquiao did it.
Wow. I mean, listen, those guys come around once every 20 years? 30
years? I think Inoue is a generational talent too, man.
He is, man. He's one of my favorites. He's actually one of my favorites.
When I seen him and Canelo in Japan sitting next to each other, I was like, greats, man. Intelligence, man. There's very few of them in boxing. Intelligence and discipline, and that's what makes them good. You got a lot of good fighters. You got a lot of stars in boxing. You have very few superstars.
Mm-hmm.
You have good fighters.
That's a good point that you brought out.
Very few. It's like the NBA, right? You can't put MJ and Kobe, and those are superstars, but you got other good fighters and stars, right?
Yeah. No, listen, Coach, I'm not an early person at all, but I'll get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and watch anyway. That's how much I like him.
Yes, I've done it too. Love him.
I'm not an early person at all, man.
Love him. I love watching his training sessions. The stuff he puts out. It's just what I love to teach, man. That guy is so focused into his balance, his legs, staying bladed. He fights with his legs, man. He reminds me a lot of Bruce Lee, right? Like his legs. Like you win with your legs.
That's right? A crazy comparison, though.
Right? But look at his legs. You can see Bruce Lee, how his legs and how. But Inoue is just your legs get you in trouble and get you out of trouble. If you have no legs and you get in trouble, you're done. But he has a phenomenal legs and balance and stability. That's why he punches. That's why he's in and out. That's why he's in all these positions. But he's a special talent, man. So is Tank.
Yeah, for sure, man. That would be a great fight if it were to happen. I want to talk about some of your other fighters, obviously, because you have a very, very nice, talented array of young talent, man, that I love to watch. But before I get into that, I gotta ask you, take me back a little bit. How did you become a trainer? Like, were you involved in boxing when you were young? Was it always your passion?
Yeah.
Trainer? Did you want to be a fighter? Like, tell me where the journey started a little bit in the Bronx.
Yeah, it started. We used to fight in smokers, and we're talking about like the early 80s. When I say 80, 81, and we fought in all these early smokers in the Bronx, in the South Bronx. My brother was a very, very touted amateur at that time. My brother could have been world champion, three-time world champion. His career ended at 18. He had an accident. He had subdural hematomas. He went to a coma. But everybody in New York know who my brother is. His name is Ray Farrait. And my father was one of the top trainers in New York. My father was one of the top trainers in New York. We fought, and we're good friends with Teddy Atlas. When Teddy Atlas started, we started. Teddy Atlas used to bring out a group of guys. Mike Tyson was one of them. And he used to fight in these smokers. And he used to bring out his 2 top fighters was Mike Tyson and a guy named Bobby Owens.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Owens was a white kid, and it was Tyson and him. And Bobby Owens used to come down and beat up on everybody, and until he ran into my brother, and my brother beat him numerous of times. And when they talk about smokers, Johnny, it's not your age. They don't match you up on your age or your weight. It's the height.
Okay.
So when I say smokers, these are illegal amateur fights with kids.
Right.
You know, they're held in gyms and people smoke cigarettes, and you have, you have the worst of the worst in that gym that night. And Teddy Alice used to bring down a group of guys from upstate. He was tight with my father. They used to set it up, and my father would bring a team, and Teddy would bring a team, and they would just go at it. So I've been fighting since I was probably like 7, 8, and in New York it was a very, very prominent tournament back then. It was called the Kid Gloves. It was similar to the Golden Gloves, but it was the Junior Olympics and then the Kid Gloves. The Kid Gloves were like the top, and my brother and I won it. I won it from the age of 10 to 14, and my brother went on to win it till he was 15, and then my brother went open class at 16, and my brother went on to do good things. He was supposed to go to Seoul in 1988. He had an accident. He lost, in the trials. He blew his knee, and then he turned pro. But people are probably saying, well, I don't believe him. But you can go ask Buddy McGirt, who was his sparring partner. He'll say Ray Farrait at 16. You can, Wilfredo Gomez, who was sparring with my brother when he was 14. Didn't know my brother was 14. He dropped my brother with a body shot. My brother was only 14 years old. And then Roberto Duran wanted to see my brother at 16. And in fact, there's a whole bunch of pictures. My brother was the only amateur that had his name on his boots. And they were all gifts from Roberto Duran. Duran used to go to his fights and send him all his boots.
Dope. That's dope.
And then his career ended at 18. He went into a coma, and then my dad was still training. And then I left boxing at 14 because back then you wasn't able to travel. You would only go to the regionals. My brother was going to every national. I was winning every tournament with my brother, and I'm like, I can't even go to the nationals. So I left boxing, and I was playing baseball. And then I played baseball, I played basketball, and I stayed there. And then, living in New York, sometimes, we like to look at all the shiny things as opposed, to listening to what's in the house. And at 17, I went to prison. And I came out 17 years later. I was 34. And when I came home, my dad was training at a gym. I went in 1990. I came out in 2017. And I was just trying to make up time, and spend time with my dad. My dad's well known in New York. His name is Pastor Ralph. And he passed away in 2010. And I ended up buying the gym that he last was at. I bought that gym. And I kept that gym, and I turned into a daycare for a lot of kids that their parents couldn't afford daycare. And a lot of those kids were in the street. So I told them that I told the parent they can stay here if they're going to do homework, and then I'll give them free classes. So I had that gym, and then one day a young kid walked into the gym and was like, this is a true story, and said, hey, man, I want you to turn me into a knockout artist. And I was like, okay, let's go. That young kid's name was Edgar Berlanga. And I ended up training Edgar Berlanga at Pop's gym. And the rest is history. But I like to say that for all you young kids out there, that if you think your way is the right way, it's not, put your faith in God and let him guide you, right? Because if God was to actually show us the road that he has for us, we'll pass on it because he'll show all the holes we're going to fall and everything else. We want the easy road. Fighters as well. Fighters want everything easy. But that was my thing. And now I'm here, and I I probably got one of the best stables I ever had, and I think that I think boxing's going to know very, very soon. You know, these kids are under wraps, but these kids are making noise. But you know, they could have been at Top Rank or PBC or Matchroom, but they're probably, if not just as better as those prospects, or even better. You know, so I have a very special group. You know, and I'm happy, man. You know, I'm happy. I'm alive. I'm happy that my kids are healthy. The priority in all this, Johnny, this is the priority. And this is what I want to say. And this probably has nothing to do with boxing, but it has to do with life. Your job, Johnny, every day, this is your job, is to, when you leave your house, your job is to make it back.
Okay.
When I leave every morning at 5:30 and head to the facility, my job is to make it back home. Some people don't make it back home, man.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right.
So life is a lot more difficult than boxing and baseball and this and that. And then all you can say is like, I leave tomorrow and I don't make it back. Oh yeah, he was a good trainer, he was a good guy. That's all she wrote. But how about the people that live in this house? So my job and my challenges and my obstacles to overcome is to make it back here. And that includes everything. Driving down there. I prepare before the fighters walk in at 8 o'clock. I'm there at 5:30. My whole mindset is to strategically do everything as best as possible, to stay disciplined, to don't go off in different things, right? So at the end of the day, man, listen, man, we got to make it home, man.
For sure. Listen, Coach, I want to thank you for sharing that story. And for my viewers, this wasn't scripted, man. Coach had no idea the questions I was going to ask. And for you to open up like that, Coach, I just want to say thank you, man. I mean, you didn't have to do that, but I think your story is super inspiring. And I think it will,
Johnny, right? So why wouldn't you want? Some people look at people and they don't.
But there's some people that will be closed off, right? And want to close that chapter. For you to share that, it just tells me a lot about you as a person. And it makes me even more, I mean, this is going to sound corny, but it makes me even more thankful that I met you, you know, and I can consider you a friend and a role model. You know what I'm saying? So, nah, man, I just want to say thank you for sharing that, man. I'm sure my viewers are going to love that story. I mean,
man, it's the truth, man, you know, and we all have them, right? We all have them. Some people don't talk about it, but I'm not ashamed of that. You know, those are things that at the end of the day, man, we got choices. We have to make decisions. Same thing in boxing. You got to make it. So those are just decisions that we made in life, and some were good and some were bad. But like I told Edgar, man, that you're going to fail more than you succeed.
For sure.
You're going to fail more than you succeed. But the key is to don't give up.
Keep getting back up.
Because when you succeed, it's going to be, that success is going to be bigger than all your failures that you have went through. And that's how life is. It's bigger than every 50 failures. I succeed once. That little bit overcomes those 50 failures. It was worth it.
Absolutely. Everything happens for a reason, man. You know, but like I said, man, I'm glad we were able to cross paths. I tell you that much, man. And again, my man Hearn, real talk. Yep. People are feeling you, Coach, and rightfully so, man. You're a good dude, man. This is Taina.
Hi, Taina. No, she works with us, man. That was our part of that's memo, strength and conditioning.
Okay. Saludos al mejor entrenador de boxeo de parte de Memo y Taina.
She's one of the best, man, at nutrition.
That's what's
We're working with David Benavides right now.
Nice, man. Well, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. I am here with the great Marc Farrait. Let's talk about that exciting young array of fighters, man. You got Najee Lopez, you got Blasval Saint, you got Dominic Valle. One thing that and congratulations. I just wanted to say congratulations again. I know I told you this in person, but I want to say this in front of my viewers. Jonathan Cardozo last week, Maximo, right? Maximo, Brazilian young lightweight fighter, very talented, won an exciting I mean, that was one of the best ProBox main events. But I'm not surprised. ProBox, they do it up, man. Shout out to my people at ProBox. I know they're your family. They're my family. Shout out to Gary and Danny. They always showing me love. But yeah, man, he won an exciting fight. I think he picked up the WBA Continental America's title.
Yeah.
And I couldn't have been happy for him, Coach. I was backstage. I mean, he's so humble. And you could see the emotion in his face. And I got some pictures. I sent them to you.
Yeah,
I also got a nice picture of you hugging him, and you guys talking about it and hugging each other. So I saw that bond. But I bring that up to say that I'm not surprised, because it's crazy how when one of your fighters fight, they all come out. So it's almost like they're all family.
No, they have to.
Oh, they have to.
Yeah, I make them come out.
Okay,
right?
But I don't even think that it's making them like they.
No, but you have to.
That's what's up. You see what I'm saying? That's what's up.
You got to show support. Those are your stable mates, right? You have to show support. You should come out. You should show respect. You in that gym with him. He's another warrior and he's part of your team. And it's not like, they're traveling from Atlanta or New York. They're right in the facility. Come out, you show support. And I made them do that. Now, guess what? They don't miss a fight. Like, they already know.
They all there. Every time one of your fighters, in fact, in Kissimmee, when Pablo fought and you had Blasphel Saint there, they were all there.
They all have to be there. It's a family, and
I love it.
And I like to bring that to the gym, right? Like, Blast and Najee can go at it. There can be blood all over the place after sparring, but they sit at the edge of that apron after the sparring and they talk about it, right? Like, man, I made this mistake. I made that mistake. They're eating breakfast together, eating lunch. It's unity. It's a chemistry, and it's showing love. And in this sport, you need all the support you can get. So yeah, I make sure they come out. Now they just come out.
No, man, that's dope. That's dope. But you train in Erickson, right?
Yeah, that's another great kid, man. That's it. Yeah.
I just want to see him back in the ring, man. I mean,
yeah, we are. But a lot of people are ducking him, man. Listen, man. Like,
he was supposed to get that Tim Tszyu fight. Did Tim Tszyu mess up that bag too?
Yeah, we were supposed to fight him in Saudi.
It was supposed to be his next fight, because I spoke to him and he was like that he wanted that fight next, and he was there. And then Tim Tszyu gets.
It's funny because Erickson was supposed to fight that night, not Tim Tszyu.
Oh, and word!
Erickson hurt his hand, so we were like, you know what? Let's just leave the fight and we'll fight in February. December. Fight him in December, and Tim Tszyu was like, no. I want to fight over there in October in his hometown. And there's karma, man. Amazing, man.
Wow.
He wasn't supposed to fight in Orlando. It was us. We were supposed to fight Tim Tszyu in Orlando. We hurt our hand. And then we were like, let's just push it back to December. And there it is, man.
I got to see. I want to tell. I definitely got to get him on.
He's a special, man. Lubin's a dog.
For sure. He was fighting Charlo when he was 18 years old.
Yeah, Lubin's a special.
That smoke at 18 years old. That's crazy. But it's crazy how they haven't gotten him either that rematch or something. I mean, some kind of a title fight or something by now, man.
Oh, but we're you're gonna see a lot of good stuff happen for him this year.
Okay, good. I got to get him on too.
Oh, he's been in the gym. I can definitely help you with that and make that happen. But he's been in the gym. He's been grinding. He's been sparring. And those sparrings are like, he's sparring with the young guys there, So
it's funny how we calling him an older guy now, right?
Yeah, but he's a young veteran, right?
Right. That's what I'm trying to tell you, because he started so early and made a name for himself early. And he's like a young vet, like an older guy, because you got young guys in your stable.
Right. But he brings like that status, when he's in there. He doesn't play with them in the ring. When he spars, like, it's a fight. I love how he talks during sparring. He holds himself accountable, like he just be like, I'm gonna beat your ass. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. No, you ain't that good, And it's more like he doesn't hype himself up. His skill set is crazy, And it's like you can see with him and Edgar when they in the ring, even if it's sparring, there's no games.
Word. Wow.
Like,
I would love to see one of those.
No, it's just not a game.
Yeah.
Like they're like, nah, we're not taking it easy. And he's on another level, man. He is a special talent. And when they see him in his next fight, I guarantee you're gonna see a lot of great things that this kid used to do when he was younger.
That's what's up.
But he's gonna have a great. You're gonna see. He's gonna be some good announcements coming up with him.
Okay, good.
But the young guys, like who you want to start with?
Najee. Let's start with Najee.
Najee, Chino Lopez.
That's right.
Kid
Light
from
heavyweight, undefeated. Faced adversity a couple of fights ago.
Oh my God, man!
I like to see adversity sometimes, Coach, to see how a young guy reacts from it.
I believe there's a Jewish proverb, right? And it says, adversity breeds character. So you don't know what character you have until you in that adversity, right? Because you go through life like, and the minute a situation happens, right, that we don't know how we're going to deal with it. But after we deal with it, we have a certain type of character now. Now we know if that happens, we know how to deal with it. Najee has been through adversity, at a young stage in his career. And Najee doesn't fight bums, he fights guys that come to take his head off. And
he fights on ProBox. And for anybody that haven't seen ProBox, there is no such thing as a whack fight in ProBox.
And we don't treat our own. And those are our prospects. Those guys
throw them into the lion's den over there.
And you know what? And they all love it, right? Because iron sharpens iron, and those kids are growing. So when they finally get on the huge stage, which I think ProBox will be very soon. So
yes, up and coming, man. Absolutely. I can't wait.
Gary Jonas is
sharp dude, man.
He's a genius, man. That guy, people are gonna know that guy knows about boxing, not just business.
He got a plan. He got a plan. He was on the Boxing Voice a few months ago, and I was intrigued by his plan because it was like in phases. But I'm like, damn, this is the type of dude I want to work for, man, because he knows his shit.
I've worked for Gary. Gary literally came out and handpicked me in New York. I worked directly for Gary. He always introduced me as my right-hand man. We started a lot of things together. But he is a very, very astute and detailed guy when he's describing boxing. And I'm going to tell you a secret. Daniel does a great job at matchmaking, right? Mm-hmm. But Gary's the guy that does it all. Gary owns the company, owns the fighters, owns everything. Right. And that guy has Edgar told me one time, he goes, the best matchmaker I ever had was Gary. Like Gary matched my fights. So he doesn't take it easy on his prospects, right? He's investing so much money in these guys, and these guys have been passing the test, especially Najee. Like Najee's been dropped, come up, stop the guy. Has a lot of Tito Trinidad in him where, he'll get hit and come up. But Najee can punch. Remember, Najee was a heavyweight, knocking people out. But Najee wasn't a true heavyweight. He was only 205, 210 pounds.
Right. Small.
Yeah. He's a 75 with heavyweight power. He has welterweight speed and movement.
Yeah, he can move. Yep, absolutely.
Najee, I love Najee, man. Like my fighters, I'm very close to my fighters because if you could take my shit in the gym, then I have to respect you. Those guys don't talk back to me. Those guys don't lift their mouth or their eye, or they just say, yes, sir. Okay, coach.
I've been around, y'all.
Dude, that right there, much respect. Najee's gonna be world champion. Najee's gonna be world champion. Najee has everything, man. Najee's a big guy, fast, strong, and Najee's a hard worker. Najee works really hard, and to see a kid so early go through adversity like he has, he's been through more adversity than all the prospects, and he's come through with flying colors. His next fight is going to be a very, very, very good fight.
When do we expect it? When?
January 22nd, he's fighting the main event at ProBox.
Okay, will that be at Plant City? That'll be at Plant, right?
Plant City.
Okay. I'll be there. I'll be there.
And Blast is the co-main.
Nice.
So
nice.
Going to Blast.
Yeah, let's go right into Blast because I was there in his last fight, and he was cooking until.
I can say the same thing I just said for Najee to Blast, and then I can say the same thing I'm gonna say for Blast for Dominic.
Well, listen, it's
like.
So just speak in general because, like I said, they're all different though.
Yeah, they're all
different.
Something that Dominic has, but Blast has speed and power. And
so talk to me about the differences then.
Yeah, Blast. Blast is more like shots coming from all over, from different angles, from the southpaw stance, from the orthodox stance. Blast does a lot of matrix shit with his hands. I mean, the air bending.
Yeah. Okay.
We in the gym like to call Blast spider senses. Like he has that spider sense, like whoa, and then he's on top of you. Blast is very, very, very. He pays attention to detail. Like he's very detailed. Like Blast used to be erratic when I got him. Now it's like I tell Blast, you don't have to get him out in the first round. Just make him feel like you don't belong in there with you. And then he's like, Coach, I'm gonna get him out of here. Blast will continue every round to look to get you out of there. And that's a part of growing, right? That's a part of his maturity. He lets the fight come to him, and then he knows when to take the fight. Blast is speed, like amazing speed, very long, good punch, and something that Blast has that I love. Guy has a great chin. Like he'll know when to mix it up. He'll take chances, and he'll take calculated chances. That last fight, I think that guy, and I like to say this because I like the other guy he fought. I know the kid, but I know what happened. Like the guy was running with his head. He got head bunted, but the cut wasn't that bad. It was a lot of blood, but once they cleaned it up,
it wasn't as deep or as bad as we've seen in the past.
It wasn't in the eye. It was like right between.
It was, it was in the forehead or something.
Yeah, it was in the forehead.
I was there. Yeah,
and and you can hear him telling the ref, "Oh, it hurts. You can't make me fight."
He was looking for a way out.
It was definitely going to happen. Like I don't bet, but if I was to bet, Blast was going to stop him in the 6th or 7th, like bad. The guy was already confused. He was off, and that guy just fought an Olympian I had that we beat on the OTE or the OTX that tournament for the WBC. Mm-hmm. I had a kid for one fight. They gave him to me to train for one fight. His name was Francisco Verón, the Argentinian Olympian, and he beat Ruiz for that fight. And then I was like, you know what, that kid Ruiz is a tough fighter. Let me see what Blast does. Let's give him Blast. And then people say you're crazy and Gary's like, nah, we're not crazy. We're gonna give him Blast. Blast would have stopped him. Blast is on another level. He's going to continue to grow. He's only 21 years old.
Oh yeah, his future's bright.
So there's no reason to rush him, but he's making us rush him. He's walking through people.
For sure.
I can't. We can't stop that. So he's going to have a great opponent, very tough opponent. We just got him today. We were looking to fight Sosa, that fought one of my other top prospects, Marcus Valle. That fight fell through. Sosa, I don't want to fight him.
Okay.
So this other guy stepped up and we're like, okay, let's take it. It's going to be another tough fight, but Blast is like, I like that fight. Let's take it.
That's what's up.
But man, Najee, phenomenal young kid. Hope that they stay healthy.
Yeah.
And they're able to make right decisions along the way. Blast, phenomenal. Like all these kids, man, like I bring them over to my house. Like if they're training for Thanksgiving, they can't go home. They come to my house for Thanksgiving. They're training during Christmas. They come to my house for Christmas. I treat all my fighters like they're my children.
Yeah, I noticed that. I'm around you all the time at ProBox, so I noticed that. I noticed that, and I like Valle. Dominic Valle is a great kid. I interviewed him, and he's so smart. He can fight. Let me, coach. He's got the total package, man. He can fight. He's
a
smart
model.
and he's good looking, bro.
He's a model, man. I went to Dick's the other day with my kids, and we're looking up, and Dad's like, "Dad, is Dominic."
Wow,
he told
me about that during the interview.
Huge poster hanging, and I'm like, I call you Dominic. What are you doing? He's like, "Oh yeah, I did that, coach. I did that 2 weeks ago." Then I got people calling me from England and showing me these full size street billboards, and Dominic's in there doing. I think he's doing a Versace. He's dressed, and I'm like, dude, when did you do this? That kid has the looks, but I'm gonna tell you what he has, man. And I always say this to all the fighters, and I say it in front of them with Dominic there. Dominic is married. He has a newborn. That guy is holding down a family. His kid, he brings his kid to the gym. His wife, Daniela, intelligent, beautiful, beautiful soul. Like they were made for each other. They're great. And that kid has the discipline, bro. It's discipline to show up.
Yeah.
All the time, studying in the gym, doesn't leave hours. He's in there. He's a freak. He's 5'11" at 130 pounds. Can punch.
Super featherweight,
has a motor. And Dominic, I can't even describe Dominic. Like Dominic, I'm still trying to figure him out. Dominic can be a puncher, a boxer. He's got very good defense. He has a great chin. He's a great body puncher for a long guy. And dude, like Dominic is a special kid, man. Dominic is very special, man. I have a special relationship with him, as I do all my fighters, you know. But Dominic picks my brain. Dominic's the one that's like always Q&A'ing me. Coach, what do you think about this? I did this, I did that. Okay, cool.
That makes sense because, man, he during the interview, when I interviewed him, he was sharp. And I'm not saying other people that I don't interview are sharp. It's just it was a little different.
Sharp.
You know, it was a little bit different.
Sharp. He's sharp. He don't have to box. That kid can do modeling.
Right.
Very educated. His wife is very educated. Bryce is very, very educated. They come from good families.
You can tell.
I mean, he's just like.
I follow him on IG, and you could tell he's all about the family, man.
And his brother's another beast.
Mm-hmm.
Brother's another beast. Marcus.
Marcus.
All those brothers fight because of Marcus. Because of Marcus, they followed Marcus. Marcus was the first one, and Marcus. The only way I describe Marcus is a gladiator. You know, Marcus just comes to fight, and Marcus is getting better, and we're gonna hear good things about him as well. You know, I got a great young stable, man. You know, and I owe that all to Yahusha. I owe it all to Gary for giving me the opportunity to work with his fighters. You know, Gary's been gracious with me. You know, he believed in me from the very beginning. You know, but everything in life takes time, man. You know, and all it takes is one fighter to pay attention to you and do what you want, and then it shows that you know what you're doing. And now they'll see that I know what I'm doing with all these young fighters. It won't be a one-hit wonder. Like I'm not that guy. I know how to cultivate fighters, and the way I cultivate them, I don't kiss the ass. I don't kiss the ass. And
that's how it should be, you know. And we live in a day and age where you have to baby athletes, right? You have to pamper them, and I don't like that. I'm old school. Like when I was playing sports when I was young, I liked to be Coach Hart. These kids nowadays don't like to be Coach Hart, so I don't have a problem with it.
They get offended, right? And
they get offended, yeah.
You know, because they're made out of plastic today. You know, it's not tough skin. They can't accept constructive criticism. They don't know the difference between being criticized or someone giving a constructive criticism with a very stern voice or a loud voice. Right? They expect you to pat them on the back and tell them how great they are. You know, they don't want to hear what they do wrong. You know,
No.
this day and age. You know,
And it shouldn't be like that, especially in boxing, because if you can't take it in the gym verbally, how the hell are you going to take it in the ring
100%.
against another person?
All my fighters know that I don't need them, and that's important. That the fighters know that the coach don't need you. You know,
that's a good point.
I don't need you to pay my bills. Boxing don't pay my bills. It never did. You know, I'm a master electrician by trade. I work for Gary on another level. I do all his power distributions. That guy owns 39 treatment centers. I run all 39 of his treatment centers. I do all his power distribution, his property developing. So boxing didn't get me this house, doesn't have my cars, don't have my kids in good schooling. It was me. It was my hard work. So when you make that point to your fighters, you ask Edgar, yo, does coach ever tell you he don't need you? Like, man, coach been doing his own thing. When they know you don't need them, and then you question them, well, who do you need? You know, like right. Who do you need? I tell all of them, hey man, who you talking to on the phone that's helping you with your career? Like, what do you mean, coach? I just want to know, like, who you spend all this time with on the phone. I see you on the phone, you on the phone. I see who you talking to that's gonna advance your career. I say, well, guess what? None of you motherfuckers are calling me. I'm gonna advance your career together.
That's deep.
But you need to live the game. So I don't need you. I don't need a fighter, right? There are trainers that train today, Johnny, that kiss the fighter's ass because they need them. That's their only income. That's how they live, right? But they want to be friends with every fighter. You know what's so crazy, Johnny? I don't have Facebook. I don't have Instagram. I don't have TikTok. I don't have no social media.
I know, because I be trying to find you everywhere. I can't find you.
I get phone calls all the time to train people that I don't want to talk about their names. I don't want to put them out there.
Right.
All the time. They'll call Edgar. They'll call this guy. And I'm like, I don't need it. Right? I don't need it. Fighters need to understand that when you have a teacher that doesn't need anything from you and just wants the best from you, don't let go of that guy, man. Keep that guy.
I tell you, man, you a real one, bro. I mean, like I said, I'm so glad that I was able to cross paths with you and be your friend. I mean, this was an amazing interview. You mentioned that you have a great team, coach, but the one thing I say is there's one common denominator, and that's you. You know, you're the leader, right?
That guy did.
Well, listen, I know. Okay, yes, I get it.
Life around him.
I get it. I get it.
Dude, I ain't supposed to be sitting here in front of you, man. I was doing life in prison. I'm not supposed to be sitting here. I center everything around that man, like for that guy. And I appreciate you giving me the accolades. I accept them. But once I get them, I'll throw them up there. You know what I mean? And that's just how I live. But I want to tell your viewers, I have not been ducking Johnny, but me and Johnny been trying to do this for a long time. We've seen each other. We've seen each other in Orlando. And I felt so bad. He was already interviewing Edgar when he asked me. And then I see him at ProBox. I'm like, Johnny, we'll make it happen. But Johnny, honest to God, man.
Everything happens for a reason because it was worth the wait, coach. I've been seeing you all the time. And I know you got a lot going on, man. You got a lot of fighters and stuff. But one thing I will tell you is, like I said, every time you see me, you show me love. You know, and I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Absolutely. My guy, Johnny Ryan Frazier from Boxing Talk Up North. Thank you for tuning in. Great interview. The M loves boxing. Great interview. Listen, coach, not me. Listen, my interviewers are the people that I interview are the ones that make it amazing. Nobody wants to tune in to hear me talk.
The best interview I've done since I've been in boxing, Johnny, with you.
You can't tell me that, coach, because I'm like, what?
No, it's a fact, man. It's the best I've done. You allow me to speak. You didn't lead me to anything. You didn't throw me. You gave me a platform to talk. I don't talk a lot. Today it looks like I talk a lot, but I don't. You see me in the fights. I'm very reserved. I don't do a lot of interviews. But Johnny, man, thank you for making me feel so comfortable. I appreciate it, man.
No, thank you. Thank you for coming on. I definitely appreciate you. You got to come back on, because one of the things I tell everybody, especially you, is you come to the Hangout Spot, you family. And you already family anyway before you came here.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you, Johnny.
So I appreciate you, Coach. This was an excellent interview. I got to get you back, after the new year, whatever, we'll get you back up in here. We'll talk a little bit about the strategy of your fighters.
Yeah, Edgar's in camp. We'll do the Edgar in camp thing.
Yeah, we'll do Edgar in camp. I don't know where you guys are doing camp, but maybe I could stop by.
I'll bring you down to ProBox. I'm gonna do a few weeks in ProBox. I'll set you up there. You can do an interview like right after these trains.
Okay, perfect.
We got the whole setup there, so you can get in there and do that. You can do the Erickson Lubin interview there if you want.
Yeah, I want to connect with you when Lubin's around, so I can go see him and talk to him a little bit. But more or less, I want to see him, and I want to show support to the fighters as well. That to me is the most important thing.
Consider it done, man. I'll talk to Lubin tomorrow. He spars tomorrow, and he's a good kid, man. He'll give anybody an interview. That dude's amazing, man.
No, we talk. We dap up all the time. I see him all the time. I just haven't been able to connect with him. That's all. But yeah.
But now you know where to find him, and you're welcome there.
I appreciate that, Coach.
It's a private gym, but you're always welcome. I'll give you my code to get in, and you come anytime you want, man. Your family, man. And thank you once again, man. I appreciate it.
No, thank you, man. I know you're a busy guy. I'll let you go because I've had you on over an hour. I know you got to get up in the morning. But yo, Coach, I'll catch up with you.
I appreciate it, man. God bless you, Johnny, and thank you, man.
No, thank you, man.
All right, have a blessed night.
All right, you too, man.
All right.
There you have it. That was Coach Marc Farrait. Not only is he a great coach, man, but he's a great dude, man. And I gotta tell you, man, he shows me love. I mean, I've chopped it up with him on numerous occasions at live fights. He treats me like one of his fighters. It's kind of crazy, right? They got a private area set up in ProBox for his fighters that are getting warmed up. Coach allows me to come in there with them, where they don't usually allow a lot of other people in there because he likes it closed off. He's very, very, reserved and private, but he's a great guy. And I think Edgar Berlanga and him are a perfect connection. In fact, all his fighters. I mean, Najee Lopez, we spoke about. I mean, these are all up-and-coming young fighters. Darrell Valsaint, Blas Valsaint, Dominic Valle, Marcus Valle. I mean, these are all, Jonathan, Cardoso. These are all good young fighters that are very, very talented, but they're disciplined. They have one thing in common, and that's Marc Farrait. I mean, he has kind of trickled his whole style on them. And I always like to say this about other sports. You always know a team's identity because it comes from their head coach. If their head coach is a disciplinarian, you're gonna have a disciplined team. If their head coach is a buffoon who doesn't hold his players accountable, you're gonna have a team that's full of a bunch of buffoons, right? That always that are gonna make errors and like the Jets, so to speak. So my Jets. But Marc Farrait does it the right way, and I want to give him a shout out for sharing his story, man. I mean, again, when I bring guests on, I have questions that I have aligned, but I don't go over the questions with them. I mean, they kind of just let me run free reign, and for him to open up on what got him started, and obviously the trials and tribulations that he has faced throughout his life, for him to come out and just do what he's doing now. I mean, trust me, I'm there with his fighters. I'm there with all his young fighters, with Edgar. They all consider him like a father figure. And that's a testament of how good of a person he is. So that was a great interview. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hearn, thank you, brother. My sister, Superwoman, thank you for tuning in. Oh Wizard. My brother from the Boxing Voice, Oh Wizard. Appreciate you. My guy, Ryan Frazier from Boxing Talk Up North. If you ain't following Ryan, make sure you check him out. Hey, Coach, my brother might be a good sparring partner for Lubin. Yo, what's up? I'll let Coach know. I can let Coach know, Ryan. I'll hit you up on DM in the next week or so, and we can let Coach know, man. Absolutely, bro. I know, like he said, Lubin's hitting it hard. We're trying to see Lubin back in the ring at some point in 2025. Hopefully the early portion, you heard Coach, they got big plans for him and some announcements coming soon. So 2025 is going to be a really good year. This Saturday, we got the rematch between Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. I'm going to be doing another show on Thursday at 9 p.m. I'm going to be having legendary cut man Jacob Stitch Duran. Stitch Duran is going to be on hand with me. I actually interviewed him earlier in the year, and he promised once I started doing live shows that he would come back. So I want to bring Stitch Duran on. He's just an iconic figure who I enjoyed that interview very much. Just a wealth of knowledge. There isn't anything in the boxing world that Stitch Duran has not seen. He's even been in movies. He's obviously been the cut man for Adonis Creed, Michael B. Jordan's character in the Creed movies, and he's going to be in the next Creed movie. He told me that on our last interview. So we'll get an update on Thursday on where the movie stands. Also, he's coming out with a documentary in 2025. So I want to talk to him, or I want him to kind of open up on his documentary. So Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we got Stitch Duran, the legendary cut man, Hall of Famer extraordinaire. So make sure you tune in. But man, this has been an amazing night, amazing interview. Thank you all for rocking out with me here at the Hangout Spot Live. I'm going to wrap it up. But as always, I appreciate the love and support. And if you have not hit that like button, make sure you hit that like button. Smash that like button. If you're watching this on recording, make sure you smash that like button. Tell a friend, and make sure you subscribe to the Hangout Spot 2025. We are taking this to the next level. The next level. We ain't playing no games, and I can't do it without all of you guys. So appreciate the love and support. As always, this is your boy Johnny signing out from the Hangout Spot Live. Until Thursday, I'll talk to you soon.